another conversation at the wall. Visit for change. We are here with another good one. You hear me? And some of you guys might remember during our pandemic, there was a lot that we saw on social media where people were doing things. I know personally for me, because we were inside, I used my personal pages and my public pages just to kind of inspire people with funny things. And I came across this young man, I'll say. I don't call him young man. Hey, I got great. He doesn't have any. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna own it, Bruce. I'm gonna own it, Dad. And man, I came across his live videos, and I was amazed. And so we had a conversation at the wall with him, and we've got him back here, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to Visit for Change, our good friend, Mr. Bruce Kirkwood. Welcome, sir.
Appreciate you having me, John. We
Man, it's
always
good to have you back.
we always have good conversation, and I think that's the word because I like our interviews because they're more conversational. I love the platform that you have. I appreciate you bringing me on. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about, but I know we're here to focus on who am I to remind those who met me before, and for those who watching for the very first time. I'm just a young cat from Chicago, Illinois originally, but raised in Biloxi slash Gulfport, Mississippi. I've always had a passion for music. I've always had a passion for connecting with people and helping them to grow in some way. So as I started music, kind of elementary school, public school, going through high school and college and beyond, I kept that same idea and frame of mind as I approached all that I was doing. So I have my degree in accounting, but pursued music immediately after graduating, and I went into music full time. So there was a lot of leaps of faith along the way. Immediately going into music full time was a big deal for me at that point. At that point, the hardest decision I had ever made, having the pressure to pursue accounting because I invested so many years into it. And the family and everybody else expects me to do that, but to follow what I felt more passionate about and an opportunity that would give me the space to impact people in the way that I wanted to do so. I took that leap of faith and I chose music. There was some struggle here and there, but for the most part, it immediately paid off. And I have absolutely no regrets. And I can even say that shortly after making the decision. There was a lot of huge pivots along the way. Me moving to Phoenix last year in March was
Well, I
another.
want to say something. Let me ask something. Okay, you went from Chicago to Mississippi.
Well, my
Okay, what was that? Were you real young then, or were you? Because that's just a big shift to me.
So my family moved from Chicago to Mississippi. I can't say I moved because I was just 6 years old. But we came
Okay,
down there.
okay.
My mother got a job opportunity. My grandmother lived there as well. So it kind of made sense for us. But that was the beginning of a lot of things for me. That's when I began playing violin. And, if we had not have moved, I'm not sure exactly how my life would have panned out. I trust God. He has my back either way. But I am grateful that it panned out the way that it did because that was the beginning of so many great things.
Yeah, and if those who haven't, we've been running some things all week and just kind of showing just a taste of what he does online and some of the gifts that God's given him. Man, he just what I love about you was not just how good you played; it was the passion. Because in
Mhm.
between you playing live online, you get talking to us online, and even though you were where you were, we felt like we was right there with you. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, and you and I talked about this offline. That's one of my biggest posts. I had so many people. I had over 4,000 shares, well over 4,000 shares of just a clip of you playing Always and Forever.
Yeah. That was a live stream from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah, yeah, and people fell in love with it. But you hear it, and it's true. Music is a universal language. It just kind
Yes.
of brings everybody, no matter what culture you're from, what country, no matter what. It just kind of brings everybody together.
Hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that I've seen personally with music as well, with my live streams specifically, because you have people from all over the world who are tuning in
Mhm.
from wherever they are. And to see the diversity amongst the viewers and all
Mhm.
demographics, and even down to personalities, and they bring their own unique energies to the live stream. And there's never any negativity. It's always positivity. We don't have house rules. I don't have to lay down the law before we start every live stream. It's just understood. And I do think that a lot of that is due to the music having the effect on people. It brings down those walls and the things that tend to divide us, right? And I think the most special thing about that experience is that it's in the midst of social media. And where we are
Hmm.
now with social media, it's understood that if you have a post that has a lot of comments, thousands of people coming through, it's very likely that there's going to be some drama. People getting down to
Hmm.
controversial topics, and slamming each other. But to see so many people come together and it's nothing but love, and the people that come in that may even have intention to bring some negativity, they immediately are hit with the positivity, the love, the uplifting spirit that's amongst those live streams. So I think it's very beautiful. It's humbling for me to be able to create a platform to allow for that to take place. But I even tell my people who tune in that family, not just fans, and that the stream is not mine, it's our stream because the
Yeah.
energy is what it is, mostly because of them. And I'm just grateful to play a part because we all get so many great things from it.
Yeah. Well, I know I did. And some of the folks that I talked to that listened to you, they said, God, he's amazing. And I just said, that's the grace of God on him to do what he does. It's amazing to listen to it. For those of you all who haven't heard him, we'll let you know where you can go hear his stuff. But it's not just a violin, man.
Yeah.
You do many things. I know people just get a taste of the violin, but even last time when we talked, you shared a bunch of things you do as far as musically. So, I mean, what else other things you do musically? Yeah, and we love the violin. Don't get me wrong, but there's other things, and we're about to talk about some of those things today.
So let's first talk. We'll start with the things that I only dabble in, and that's drums,
Mhm.
piano, but mainly what I do is violin. But also, what I've done even before violin was sing, and that's
Mhm.
something that I'm recently really kind of using my platform to build upon. So I released a Christmas EP recently
And
with
that's what we're getting ready to talk about, man.
three
Yeah, you
songs
know,
with
because
some vocals. So it's a lot of vocals that are coming out of me, and I'm becoming more and more confident as a vocalist, in addition to being a violinist. And this is just the beginning. Even after
uh,
21 years into violin, this is still just the beginning of the blossoming and the things that God's placed into me that will begin to further come out, so I can have an even more, impactful footprint when I leave this earth.
okay, now let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about the CD and when it dropped. It dropped earlier this month,
Yes.
um and I'm telling you, man, I want to. I've heard some of it. So let's talk about why a Christmas CD.
Well, so the first thing is this is my first Christmas music release. And I've been,
Mhm.
doing this for a minute. So it just made sense. My supporters have been wanting it for a while as well, and so did I. So I
Mhm.
recently connected with an amazing producer. His name's Mark Picchiotti. He's here in Arizona. I connected with him last year. We started working on so many things, including a full originals album. And Christmas began to come around, and it might have been October, maybe the beginning of October,
Mhm.
end of September, where we decided that we wanted to do a Christmas EP. And I'm like, wow, this is last minute. But I've always wanted to do one, and it would be perfect because maybe it can build some traction to the originals album later, and it's about time for me to do it. So we stopped everything we were doing, paused the originals album. We began working on the Christmas music. We decided what songs we do. So one of the main songs on that EP is Mary Did You Know, which is a song that is my mother's favorite, my favorite as well. So that had to go on the
Mhm.
EP. The Christmas song, nod and hats off to so many people who came before me, including Nat King Cole, who is an amazing artist and individual for so many reasons. And the third song is an original, which is comprised of a collection of kind of not so deliberate Christmas melodies, but if you notice them, you will. But it's really just a concoction of Christmas feels, kind of a spin-off, if you will, also of the text "'Twas a Night Before Christmas." So all of these
Hmm.
songs are special to me, and they exhibit or show different facets of myself and my artistry. And I think they hit all of the members of, the population of people who listen to Christmas music. Mary, did you know it hits the religious Christians? The Christmas song, it hits the people who just want some sentimental Christmas feels. It's a classic song, the Christmas song. And then you have the original,
Hmm.
which is more so, this is my expression of Christmas. And it has a beat behind it that makes it pretty non-traditional. But I'm excited about it. I actually have the album, the CD right here. This is able to be
There it is.
purchased.
Yeah.
Um, we'll have the
And you guys,
links.
and we're popping it up on the screen so everybody can see it. There it is. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm excited to be able to release it. It feels good to be on the end, on this side of it, the completion side of it, I will say, because so much went into it. But I had an absolutely
Mhm.
amazing time. It was so much fun. It really stretched me in a lot of different ways as a person, as an artist. I'm working with my producer, my team. But I'm excited to be looking at this CD right here because so much blood, sweat, and tears, if you will, went into it.
Mhm. It's interesting, Bruce, that you're stepping out and doing some things with your voice. And by the way, sounds great to me. Um, people can almost want to see you as they know you, if they first met you. We know him as
Mhm.
the violinist. He's beautiful. Oh my God! But singing, there's more to you. I always say, man, all the people put a period
Yeah.
where there's supposed to be a comma. There's other
Hmm.
things that's to you. It's still musical. But yeah, people will kind of say, "Hey, this guy is just a violinist. What is he doing? Play the violin on this thing." Violin's still there, right? But
Yeah.
this is in addition to.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
And I think that all of us have a lot of things that we can say, these things are in addition to what people expect from me already. And I remember it was probably
Mhm.
at this point 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, where I paused and I said that I had to open up my mind to be willing to even put the violin kind of not on the back burner, but not so much at the forefront of who I was and what I was doing. I didn't realize fully why at that point, but I did know there was a lot of things that was in me that were untapped, and I would not be able to see
Mhm.
those things materialize and actually be presented until I was open-minded enough to take what has been so forefront and kind of be willing to let it take the back seat when necessary. And I think
Mhm.
immediately so many things started to kind of blossom and seeds were planted. And before I knew it, I actually got into life coaching and got into more speaking engagements and got into singing. But I
Okay.
would have never done these things 5 years ago, because I didn't allow myself or give myself permission to kind of, it's somewhat of an ego thing, if you will, because and you kind of go through some sort of identity crisis when who you have been, so much of who you've been is no more and no longer. So it takes a lot of willpower to be able to take something aside for the sake of creating and building something else. And then you let people down because he's always been a violinist and I loved him as a violinist. You might lose some, but the people that stick around are
Mhm.
those who are not just a fan of my music, they're a fan of me as a person. And I've always wanted people to see me as a person before they ever see me as anything that I do, because I strive to
Wow.
treat
Right.
people as people first. So
Mhm.
I'm excited to kind of see even the evolution of my followers and my fan base and those that come and those that go. And I understand that some people are in your life and they support you and they're behind you for a season and also for a reason. And when it's over, it's over. There will always be people who will be those ride or dies, right? Those people who will follow you through and through and to the end. Those are the ones that I really, really, really invest my love and effort into.
Man, preach, bro. That was good. A couple things you said there, man. That man, that those are shows by themselves. Discussing about give yourself permission. Yeah,
Mhm.
give myself permission to be something more.
Yes,
Again, I'm not eliminating what I am, but I'm
exactly.
giving myself permission to do more. And then, man, I love that how your aspect, how you're looking at this. Don't know me by my gift. Know me
Exactly.
as who I am, the person. And because the gifts are really to serve people, But then, yeah, if you just know me by that, there's more to me than just a gift. Love that, dude. I love that, man. That works.
I completely agree.
That'll, yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead and preach it, brother. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Nah, you're right. You actually said something that I've been thinking about for this past week. You know, we have the gifts. We're not the gifts, and it's so easy, especially now that social media is such a large part of business, especially small business. Well, all of business, but it's a growing connection between the business owner and social media, like them and the gift. That's what it is. The connection between the person and the gift is now harder and harder to keep separate. So it's easier now to get caught up in I am the gift because now you have to post, see me, look at what I'm doing, like me, in order for your business to get more attention, in order for you to get more exposure. And it's easy to get caught up in all of that activity and seeking the engagement for the sake of business. But throughout that process, we kind of, if we're not careful, can get caught up in this is about me. So I have to be more deliberate about making sure that I see them as separate. I have a gift, but I am not the gift. Regardless of how many followers I have, regardless of how many followers see me as such a gift, I have to be reminded that I have a gift, but I am not the gift. And it's not about me. And the gift that I have, the gifts that I do have are first for others, like you said, to serve. And I'm just a vessel. And I have realized years ago that the higher we go in whatever capacity, whatever higher looks like, the more successful we become, the more deliberate we have to be about remaining humble. And I never want to get away from that, though I really see on a day-to-day basis the challenges that I face that kind of work against that frame of thinking. And I have to be very intentional because I don't want to look up and have lost who I am along the way. And I'm sure that's some things we talked about in our last interview. But that's still to this day, however long later, that's still my goal, to not lose myself along the way and to not veer away from my principles and my values and to never think that it's about me. So
that's good, man. That's real good. That's real good, man. That's real good. Yeah, I hope people will pay attention to what you're saying, man, because it puts things in proper perspective, and I believe it leaves you stress free
I agree.
because you're not trying and striving. You're just being led, and you're enjoying it when you take it from that perspective. That's good, Bruce. That's
Hmm.
good right there, brother. I hope y'all listening out there, man. Let me see comments, likes, man. Share this out. Please share this out so folks can get a hold of that wisdom. You know, there are so many people right now that are striving, and you know, social media now gives people platforms, and everybody's got a voice, and they
Yeah,
can see some profit. Some have been successful, but then to maintain it, what you just said, they're paying, they're striving, they're working hard, and I think when you take it from the perspective you just shared, Bruce, your life is easy. You flow how
hmm,
you want to flow, and you're a gift to people, and
yeah.
you perfect the gift. I believe God helps you perfect that gift. Now, let me ask a question because I'm going to close out. We're running out of a little time here. If people want to get this, and I think you want to get this, folks, you want to get your EP, how can they get it, man? Where is it?
Well, I'm assuming we will, for the platforms where it makes sense, have some links available. But you can
Mm-hmm.
get this CD from through my website or directly through my online merch store. My website is brucekirkwood.com, first last name.com on the end, or you can go to my store at brucekirkwoodstore.com. Those are the ways that you can purchase this CD. If you just want to stream it, if you have platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, etc., you can just go on there and search Bruce Kirkwood and I'll come up. If you want to find this specific EP, you can search Bruce Kirkwood Yule Vibes and it'll come up there.
All right,
Make sure
your
you follow
vibes.
me there, star me there, or heart me there, whichever platform it is, and stay connected. Of course, you can also connect with me on social media. My Facebook is Bruce Kirkwood. My Instagram is Bruce_the_violinist.
Okay, if you guys are watching, the links are right here, so you can click these links and listen. It's the holidays. It's while you're wrapping these gifts tomorrow, or if you haven't, or some of you probably already have. You just sitting around drinking your eggnog, hot cocoa, whatever, man, you can vibe to this, man. I'm telling you, it's nice, smooth.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
it's graceful, anointed music, man. So please go out and get it. If you're just listening to the podcast, he just ran it all down, but you can find this stuff, BruceKirkwood.com, right?
That's right.
Your website. Okay, if you just listen to the podcast, you guys are driving the car. Please, when you pull over, go ahead and check it out and save it. All right, any last words you want to give, man? You gave a lot of good stuff today. If you had to inspire somebody coming into the no, before we do that, what you got going on coming up? What's going on with you? I know you got the other project you got finished, but you're going to be anywhere in any cities that people can come see you live?
Yes. So it's not fully confirmed, but it looks like it's going to be a go. That next month in caught me off guard with this one, January. We'll put this date in the comments as well, or in the description for the video.
Okay.
But in January, I'll be on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and I'll be doing a performance there. We'll give you that information. But also, I'll be doing a couple private things in New Orleans. But I have, as I alluded to earlier, an originals album that's coming out. We're probably going to separate those songs as singles. And the first one's going to be released for Valentine's Day. So leading up to Valentine's Day with at least one song called Lottery of Love. It's kind of a sophisticated presentation of love. I'm an old soul, young face, old soul. So I love the classic R&B artists. I love when R&B artists, were vulnerable, when they expressed their love in a way that was uplifting, and added value. So hats off to artists like Luther and Teddy Pendergrass, Anita Baker. So
Preach it, brother.
Those my people right there.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
So this song, Lottery of Love, is just that. From the very beginning of the song, it's just this soulful groove that you placed into. And the lyrics, they have meaning. And it's the entire album is just as the EP for Christmas was. They're all facets of me. And what you're going to experience on this full album is every facet of me. And beginning with Lottery of Love, it's going to be really nice. Set the tone, largely vocals, a little violin in one small section, but again, largely vocals. And it's something that I know that the people in that market are going to love. So stay tuned. Follow me on social media. Stay tuned on my website as well for that release. I'll be putting some information out there for it.
Okay, family, you guys heard it. Now, Bruce, before we close out, man, I ask people to give me a nugget, man. Just give me something that you can inspire the people with. It could be a testimony of your life or just some wisdom, some Bruce wisdom that you would give them just to let them see something different.
I think I can talk about one of my biggest lessons that I learned this year. And actually one of the biggest lessons that beginning this year, I made a commitment to work on, which was teaching people how to treat me. Now, I say that as I say it, and I know it can come off a certain way, but I do think it's important that we teach people how to treat us in the things that we communicate and the things that we say. This affected me this way, and give the other person or people the option and opportunity to adjust. No demands, not telling them what to do, but saying and communicating how you feel in response to people's behaviors and actions. But also in realizing that you teach people how to treat you by what you don't say, right? If someone treats you a certain way and you have nothing to say about it, you teach them that it's okay to continue to do so. So that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned this year. And I'm always learning all throughout every year. I'm not the type of person to kind of say, oh, this year I'm going to work on this, and it just doesn't happen. I'm very deliberate. But there are many things that I could have answered for your question, but that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned and conquered this year. And I would love to see the world take on that as well, that idea, because it's, as you said before, certain things that if we implement, it leads to such peace. It leads to just drama-free. It leads to healthy connections. It leads to people around you actually adding to you. At the end of the day, you want to be surrounded by people who add peace to your life, or at least don't add chaos. So that would be one of the biggest things that I've learned this year, and a way to answer your question.
Excellent, man. Excellent. I need to take that advice myself. Yeah. Just speak truth, man. You know, everybody says that you speak your truth, whatever, but yeah, okay, this hurts me.
Hmm.
And to, you know, you'll always suffer, you're right. If you don't tell people, you just do it in silence, and then wow. You
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff, man. I could put into a whole show, you know, all those little nuggets you just dropped.
You gotta have me
Man, thank you
back.
for dropping in on this, man. And I'm praying a
Yes,
great
sir.
success for you and especially for this Christmas album that's coming out, man. It sounds like you put a lot of work into it, but I believe when you sow good seeds, you're going to reap good harvests, man. No question about it.
Yes,
So
sir.
we know much success to you, and come back and hit us up, man. Let us know what's going on and talk with us. And then look, impart to us because you gave some good wisdom today, man.
More where that came from.
Yeah, good, good. Listen, family, thank you for joining us today. Go by the website, iloveIgiveIserve.com, jsmonline.org. You know, you can help sow into some of the things that we're doing ministry wise. And we've got a lot of things going on with that, inspiring minds, and some of the coaching things that we've got going on within I Love, I Give, I Serve, and the Vision for Change family. So we thank you guys so much. And we want you to have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Love on somebody, man. Talk to those family members, even if it's just a little text real quick that you haven't talked to in a while. Let love reign. And remember, all things are possible if you just believe. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Much love.